Back to the Dads Against the Narrative. Today, we are going to be talking all things conspiracy. You guys know the whole point of this show is really to be talking about how dads need to not only be aware and question everything, but our job is to train the next generation. And if we just train straight obedience, do what you're told, we don't raise children that are obedient. We raise obedient adults, and that is when they're taken advantage of, they're controlled, things of that nature. So our job as fathers is to really dig in and to question the narrative, question what's going on, and to really just create critical thinkers all around us. Encourage other men to do that as well as teach our children how to do that. And today we have a special guest, Jimmy DeFalco from the Awakened Father. So hyped to have you on. I wore a special shirt. You got a special shirt on as well.
There we go.
I think it's perfect for everything. Like that's straight from Ian Smith. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got one from Seven Armors here. I'm not affiliated with those guys. I just love the shirt because it says enough. At the bottom it says, "How else can I offend you?" I'm just not looking to be offensive, but I probably will be. So glad to have you on, man. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
All right.
appreciate you guys having me, man. Yeah, thanks so much. My name is Jimmy. I'm a father of two young boys. And yeah, just like Nate said, I kind of, am fully in alignment with that. Just question everything. We've been told lies pretty much about everything, right? Since the history in school, we've been taught what we're supposed to do through school, after school to live a prosperous life. Even like the fucking food pyramid is completely flipped on its fucking head and exactly backwards. So we've been like lied to this whole time. And I recently started waking up about 5, 6 years ago to what was going on. So kind of like I'm excited to get into it with you guys.
Yeah, man. Love that. Love
Jimmy,
that.
thanks for being here, bro. Everyone, I'm Jack Nofel, as you know. Jimmy, I just have a quick question before we jump all the way in and go back and forth here. What is the one conspiracy that really opened your mind to like, hey, I need to question every damn thing? What's the one thing that really brought you in?
Yeah, man. So it was actually like the whole COVID epidemic experience and everything. Because honestly, just for a little bit of background for you guys, like I'm a recovering addict. So like 8 years ago, I was like living on the streets in opiates, Xanax, alcohol. I was rock bottom pretty much, right? And as I started to get clean, sober, clean up my act a little bit, I started to go down like a spiritual journey, a spiritual path, like somewhat of like an awakening. And when COVID happened, maybe for the first like 10 to 14 days, I was like, oh shit, this is kind of scary, right? Wearing my mask, wiping my milk down with Lysol wipes and shit. And then just like about 2 weeks in, I remember like it just the dots weren't connecting. It wasn't fucking making sense, right? And over the next like 6 to 12 months, I I really started to see that there's the bullshit and insanity that was not only going on with that, but our entire government system, our educational system, our healthcare system, our every fucking thing,
Yeah.
right? And at first, I annoyed the shit out of my friends because I was like screaming from the mountaintops, right? Like, can't you see? Like, can't you see what's happening? What's going on? And they're like, you're fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Go get your vaccine. I'm like, fuck you, no way. And honestly, me and my boys, they were like maybe 4 and 2 at the time, or maybe no, 5 and 3. Um, I wouldn't. We wore a mask on certain things. We went to Disney and stuff like that. We had to, but if I went into a grocery store and they made me put it on, I would just politely leave and go to somewhere else. Like I wasn't gonna fucking do it. And and yeah, so but like now at this point where I'm at in my spiritual journey, I may throw a breadcrumb route here or there, but I've come to realize that if you can't see what's going on with all of the with all that's going on right now, nothing I say or do is gonna wake you the fuck up. So it just now I'm more like just quiet behind the scenes and throw out some breadcrumbs every now and then. But COVID was really what woke me up to the insanity.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, go ahead, Jack. I know you have something. I know
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. So there's so much here, Jimmy. So much here.
Yeah.
The pandemic definitely, I think, backfired a lot on the powers that be that control us. I think they expected it to go fully as planned and get 90 to 100% of people inoculated. And then they only ended up at like, I think it was still high numbers, still like 80%. still were inoculated. And there's like 20%
Yeah.
of us that overcame the biggest psyop ever in the history of the world. I mean,
Hmm.
every government doing the exact same thing all at once. And we haven't talked COVID yet, so let me hit this up really quick. When COVID happened, guys, I lived in Seattle. I lived in one of the most woke
Whoa.
cities you can actually be in the country. And the very first day I told my wife, I said, I am not wearing a mask. I'm not putting hand sanitizer on. I'm not doing any of that shit. This is fake. And she was just like, my wife's 13 years younger than me. So she's like, no, no, no. Make sure you wear a mask. I'm like, I am not wearing a mask. Not happening. I go, I've been around for SARS, H1N1, 9/11. Like, I know this has all been fake. Like, since
Yeah.
9/11, everything to me that the government's done or try to say that for my health is a lie. It's a total bullshit lie. So
Yep.
Mhm.
right away, I was just like, nah, not happening. And my wife was like, no, 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 we have to be prepared. Seattle especially, they're just like, it's on the billboards of like the freeway. Get your vaccine, mask up, save lives, stay 6 feet away. It's like the dumbest shit ever at every location. Anywhere you're going, it's just COVID, COVID, COVID. The point of the death
Yeah.
toll, like something's not adding up. The government's never worked together like this. And it took her about a week, and she's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." And her mom was stuck with us, and her mom's just like, "No, we can't do this or this." And I'm like, "No, we're going hiking. We're gonna go hiking like we do twice a week." And we would go to hikes, and it'd be like locked off, and I'd park outside. We'd have the whole damn park to ourselves, and the Pacific Northwest is beautiful. It's like as
Yeah.
mystical as can be, and we just enjoyed it the whole time. My son was just born, and right before he was born, my wife brought up all the things about like vaccines and circumcision. So I was like a brand new father. I still haven't questioned that. He was born. I got him the first day vaccines and circumcision the second day. And now my second son, of course, none of that. But it's like that started to like bring me to the next level of like, fuck, man, they're attacking us on every single front. And we
Yep.
have to be really aware or prepared for what the hell's next. And that's kind of like COVID's kind of that for me. It's kind of like it turned me into one of those people that prepare for disasters.
A prepper?
Prepper.
Yeah. Because I think that it was like this was like an ultimate test, I think, for them, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this was their last one because, like, you brought up an important point with SARS, and I just pulled up this list. I made it like a while back. Like, this has been a constant thing from like the 70s. It was the ice age. The 80s, it was acid rain. The 90s, the ozone layer was depleting.
Yeah.
2000s was Y2K. 2001 anthrax. 2002 West Nile. 2003 SARS. Bird flu. E. coli. The money crisis in '08, the swine flu, the Mayan calendar ending in 2012,
Yeah.
Ebola in 14, ISIS in 15, Zika in 17, global warming in 18, and then finally COVID. It's like literally just been a constant thing. The world's ending,
Yeah.
right? Um, and because, when we're in a state of fight or flight and we're constantly living in like that sympathetic state, we
Mm.
can't fully thrive. We
Yeah.
can't fully like we only have tunnel vision. We're just focused on survival. We're focused on like that day, the next thing. So I believe, like you said, it's a psyop to keep us locked in from our full potential because the last thing the government wants is like independent thinking, strong, like people, especially males, right?
Yeah.
Like they just don't want that. So by perpetuating all of these disasters, right? It keeps the masses, the unconscious, like it keeps them unconscious, right? Because they can't do the work on themselves and start to improve. So, um, yeah, it's fucking wild.
Dude, I love how you put that because like when I think about it, I forget who it was that I was watching, but they're talking about how when you go to fight or flight mode, like your blood vessels constrict on your like brain and your gut, and they go to like hands. So like you're either throwing hands or you're running, right? And that's
Yeah.
made for everybody always uses the concept of, if you got chased by a saber-toothed tiger back in the day, you had to either be able to run or whatever you were going to do to get away. And then once you get away, then your body readjusts. And truth be told, if you ever watch a lion like chase a zebra, they'll do this when they get away. They do this like crazy shake and they kind of like freak out a little bit, and it's like they're getting all of that out of them. And
Yeah.
when that happens, if all the blood vessels are constricted in your brain because you're in your subconscious fight or flight mode, you can't learn. Actually, I've talked about this on
Yeah.
Dads Don't Babysit. I've talked about this as how you handle your children. I'm not always good at this, and it's funny because my wife is wonderful. She's always saying, like, she's always coming back to me, pushing back on when I screw up, which is great, right? She's helping
Yeah.
me be a better dad. And she's like, don't forget, you can't do that. Like, this is what happens, that kind of thing. But when you yell at your kid, they either go into fight, flight, or fawn, where they just like, whatever, they freeze. There's no learning when you're yelling because their brain is literally not the focus. Their limbs and survival are the focus. And if you
Yep.
keep grown people by scaring them, and truthfully, like when I think about it, I go, okay, as a father, I want to keep my family safe. So if you keep me scared, I'm not afraid so much for myself as I am for my own children. And so it's how do I keep them safe? And when they do that, then there is no learning. And if you're able to kind of pull yourself out of the matrix of all that they're creating and go, y'all are fucking ridiculous. Like, this is insane. Then you can really pump the brakes and, like you said, go back into that rest and relax and rest and digest kind of feel, and you
Yeah.
can learn. And I don't know about you guys, but seriously, sometimes I feel like because I talk to guys like you, I'm always asking, who is believing this? Like, how are people still believing this? Okay, so I know that, like, at the time of this recording, Charlie Kirk was shot and assassinated like a week and some change ago.
Yeah.
And I posted something that was like, hey, you can bring heaven to earth or you can bring hell to earth. And somebody in there, I had a ton of people saying things that were awful about him, but one person said something, and it was like, I was like, wait a second. You still think that COVID was not planned? Like, and I was blown away because they said it in their comment, and I'm going, you still think that this wasn't a planned, like, pandemic in order? I'm like, are you the only person on the planet that believes that now? But I don't think they are. I think that we're still dealing with masses that still believe that. I saw a guy out the other day walking on the street outside by himself, mask. And I was
Yeah.
like, what is happening? How are you still into this? It's crazy.
Yeah, you replied to my post the other day, where I was in Publix, this shopping store here in Florida. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen an influx of people wear masks lately. Like, I don't know, I don't watch the news really, so I don't
Yeah.
know like what they're perpetuating on there. But like, I'm like, how brainwashed and fucking this retarded are these people
Yes.
to still believe that? And honestly, I've come to a point where. And I even said this about like the people who were saying nasty things about Charlie Kirk and everything. Like, although my first reaction was to like be mad, angry,
Yeah.
violence with violence, but like we just got to pray for these people, man, because they're at such a low level of consciousness, such a low level of awareness. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't know, man. And although I want to slap them upside the head and be like, "You stupid fuck," like I do my best to like not get mad and angry and just because at the end of the day if I do, I'm just falling right into the trap as well.
Yeah. You're
Because
such a
that
better
puts,
person than me.
yeah. At the end of the day, I'm falling right into the trap as well. Because like, if they keep me in an angry state, then again, I take that out on my kids, and I'm not
Yeah.
like my best version of myself at home and everything. So I do my best to just try and like not let it. It's hard. I'm not saying I do it all the time,
Sure.
right? But like I try, you know.
You know what's funny, Jimmy, is that like we all coach, and one of the major things we always teach you guys is like emotional regulation, right? And so it's like, what the fuck gets you pissed off? And then you're like, dude, shooting Charlie Kirk in the fucking neck gets me pissed off. So I think that's a normal reaction, is that we should be pissed off at that.
Yeah.
And, this is a conspiracy show. So let me take you guys back to the 80s. The 80s started this thing called test tube babies.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
test tube babies were created, not really. There's a conspiracy just with test tube babies that they were not like created by God. They're created by man, and so there's no soul. And so what we're seeing in the world today is a lot of test tube babies or Cabbage Patch Kids. And we'll definitely do the other shows with Cabbage Patch Kids, test tube babies. These are both very, very deep. But nowadays, when you look at it and you hear everyone say NPCs, right, non-playable characters,
Yeah.
that's what I think is probably the Cabbage Patch and the test tube babies, because what's happening is they have no soul, they have no emotion. They can live in a state of like hurting others, killing others, destroying others, taking power, taking money. None of that bothers them because there's no conscience, there's no empathy, sympathy, compassion. None of that's there. So a lot of people make this argument for test tube babies are the problem. I know, Nate. This is a far Nate. This is I
I
know. Right now,
I swear, no, dude,
shit.
that's funny because I've been saying these people aren't real.
Yes.
Like I literally was having this conversation the other day and I made comments. I'm like, these people can't be real. They're like NPCs, right? Like they literally cannot just be real people with real souls and real critical thinking brains. I don't understand it. It blows my mind.
This is
No.
actually why I love talking to Jack because most of the time we talk, he takes me deeper down the rabbit hole. I'm like, damn it, how deep is this fucking rabbit hole? And it just
Yeah.
keeps going. It's like there's no end to it. Like all of that is new to me right now, and so now I'm processing all of that. And man, I tell you what, it's just this is actually why I love doing it though because at least I think the thing for me is I've always been, well, since, because I kind of got, and we talked about this last time, but I got into conspiracy specifically after 9/11. And then that took me to, that took me down to JFK and all sorts of other ones, all the way back even to Lincoln. And I'm like, wow, this goes deep. But I always said, I don't have to believe everything, but I'm not going to put it past them to do this kind of stuff. And so it's like, Jack brings up stuff that like makes my brain feel like it's twisting
Yeah.
into nonsense, and then I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't put it past it to be that. So I'm happy to go down there to some level because I don't know everything, and two, I wouldn't put it past anybody to be doing like the kind of shit we dealt with in COVID. And I feel like that's what I wanted to ask you is like, was there a specific moment in that whole time that you were like, there it is? Like Jack's been kind of on the front end of a lot of stuff. I feel like he said like with 9/11 it was almost instantaneous for him, and it took me a couple years, and then I started looking back. For you with COVID, was there a moment where you walked in and you're like, yeah, that's it, that's the thing that got me, that was you were like, this is totally bullshit?
Yeah, it may have been it may sound like a little stupid, right? But it was the whole restaurant thing, right? Like you had to wear the mask until you sat down at your table. And then it was okay to take it off when you got a motherfucker sitting right behind you, right in a booth. But
Right.
then you had to put it back on to go to the restroom and walk back. And I was just thinking, like, what? Like,
Yeah.
just using your logical brain, like, how does that, let's say the mask did work and 100% prevent
Right.
any spread, which they didn't. But
Right.
let's say they did. Like, what's the point of wouldn't you just close all the I just that at that point when I saw that, I'm like, what? Like,
Right.
how is that? And then if the masks worked, why did we need to stay 6 feet away from each other? Right? Like the masks worked and it all just like didn't. And that actually, like, if you would have told me 10 years ago about 9, I would have been like, you guys are conspiracy theorists, no way. And then now I'm like, just like you, like, I don't know, but like, I wouldn't put it past. Pretty much know at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like with 9/11 and everything, there's too many correlations, too many things again that just don't make sense when you really look into it. But
Yeah.
I think most people, it's a very unsettling realization to come to.
Yeah.
And I think some people deep down they know at like a subconscious soul level, but they don't want to admit it because knowing that your government could just kill thousands or millions of people, like, and lie to everyone about it is just
Right.
it's a fucked up realization. And it
Yeah.
puts you in like this dark place for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like coming to that realization, and most people aren't at a high level of consciousness and awareness along their spiritual journey to like accept that and be
Yeah.
there with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I think most people avoid it because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
That's
Jimmy, I
great.
want to jump in on that. I think most men, especially and women, they just don't have a fucking period of reflection daily. Like they don't have a point where they like reflect on their day or who they are, or get out of the shower naked and look at themselves and be like, I'm a fat piece of shit, right? I'm looking good. I could cut in here. I could, you know, they don't look at their life like in
Oh,
detail. They don't really give a fuck if there's a purpose of their life. I've talked to many men where it's like Jack, why do I need to have a purpose? I'm like, dude, that's sad. That's sad. But let me bring you in. Why? I think you should need a purpose. It's the only reason we're here. Um, but a lot of these people, if they have no self reflection, when it comes to something so big as a false flag event, especially with all these arbitrary rules and shit like 9/11 or not 9/11, like COVID, they just believe what everyone else is feeding. That's why the news repeats the exact same shit. We've all seen those clips of the news where it's like they all say the exact same script over and over and over. It's hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone relies on. So then they say that message. The boomers listen to the news still. We know that. It's like 60% boomers still listen to the news, and they're the ones who fuck this whole world up by accepting everything. And so the funny part is then like they pass down all this information to their kids, right? Their kids are our age now. Pretty much, yeah, because Jimmy, you're what, 38, 39 or somewhere around there too. So you're
39,
similar.
yeah, I'll be 40 in June, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
June,
I'm the
June what?
boomer.
Next year, yeah, June coming up, like 9 months from now. Yeah.
What's the date of your birthday?
June 16th.
Oh, I was like, no way, it's June
If we got the
24th.
true, I thought we had a trifecta for a minute. Me and Nate both were born the exact same day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, June 24th, 1981.
No shit.
Well,
so,
I'm 80. So I got 1 year on you, but
oh
still.
shit, dude, you're a boomer. You're
I'm old. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm the boomer.
You're 45, bro. I'm not even in my mid-40s. Anyways, a lot of these people, they pass the information down and then it gets passed down more. This is why bars were closed, because where do people go to get people talked up and have conversations, tell stories? It's at the bars. So bars are
Yeah.
closed, liquor stores were kept open, all the big Walmarts and shit that their buddies owned were stayed open. And it's like there was only one narrative allowed to be pushed. And then everyone owned Twitter, Instagram, Meta, and all these shits. So it's like they weren't allowed to push the other narrative because I was speaking out the whole time from day one. And me and the military fought each other hardcore because of it. I had to go see generals and colonels all the damn time because I refused the vaccine. I refused to wear a mask. And I'm like, dude, these are all arbitrary rules that you guys are making up. Nothing's based off regulation. Nothing's based off of science. But you guys keep saying science. So now science is gone. It's like
Right.
the science people. I had someone the other day here in Mexico because it's a very expat friendly community. And this lady's like, I was a fucking corpsman and I believe in science because I'm a scientist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You make no sense right now. Your kid has his nails painted and you think he's a fucking girl. So you're the one who's fucking wild right now with your thinking. Get yourself together. And this is the problem. Now you have so many people that have doubled down, tripled down, that they have no humility or no self-reflection that they can't go backwards. It's almost impossible. And then if you take the test tube Cabbage Patch Kids, it's like no brains, no fucking soul. They just are literally walking zombies, accepting all the narrative. And then it's 60% of bots are online on all the social medias. They say it's 60%. That's fucking wild. So it's like, Nate, you have like 200,000 followers. That's like, you have 80,000 followers, bro. It's like most of them are fake, and that's what we know.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's watched their shit go up or down really quick overnight, and you're like, dude, what the fuck was that? And it's probably the bots disappear or new bots come in, and so it's like it's a war that's so spread out and webbed together, like a bunch of fucking spider webs just intermingling, and it's hard to like really pull back all the curtains and find the truth. Especially once you're so deep in, it's like the fucking spider already wrapped your ass up, and you're just retarded for the rest of your life. And sorry for you. That's
I will say that I love how you put that, and I think that this is the thing that that we as men, fathers. I mean, again, I usually say, and moms too, but you know what? At this point, a lot of times I just get most of the shit from moms. So I'm like, look, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to dads. So like we as fathers and men, you have to have that reflection point because if we're honest about it, we do know that the subconscious mind gets programmed through repetition. And like you were saying it on there, like every single news station was saying the exact same thing. And those videos are terrifying because there's so many little squares of people saying the exact same thing, the exact same way. It's terrifying. And so, like you said, the need for self-reflection is huge. And I think that it's either men are afraid to do it or just lulled to sleep to where they don't do it. I will say this, that's not something I do every day, but it should be something we do every day is to literally go through and think through and almost defrag. Tell yourself the things that you want in your life because if we don't program ourselves, someone out there is doing it and looking at the nefarious purposes of those who would be doing it. Holy shit, you're in deep shit if you're not doing it for yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, and if you're not helping your children do that, then that's how they're getting programmed. And obviously, what's crazy about conspiracy theories is, like you said, they spider web so far that you could turn and be like, all right, and this is where public schools come in, and this is, like, and this is where this comes in. And that's the hard part is if you're not consciously taking care of your children and yourself specifically, someone else is doing the programming. And
Yep.
that should be alarming to
That's
every
scary.
father on the planet.
Yeah, that's scary. It's and even like I wish I had the resources to like homeschool my kids or
Yeah.
like put them in some type of like different type of thing than the public school system, right? But right now I don't. Maybe in the future I will. But it's a scary place because like you see some of these teachers and what they preach and what they push down these kids' throats, like their pronouns. I live in Florida, so it's a little like people know
Yeah.
not to do that here in Florida with DeSantis, you
Yeah.
know, and everything. They'll get fired real quick. But yeah, it's scary because like you said, if you don't consciously take a minute to reflect, think about your thoughts, essentially. Like think
Yeah.
about what you think about on a daily
Yeah.
basis, right? Then you'll fall right into that trap, and it's so easy to do it.
Yeah,
Dude.
Jimmy, I was gonna say the same thing. You're in Florida, dude. I used to live in Florida. I voted DeSantis, and the difference is your kids are in public school, but on the weekends, what are you doing? You're fucking coaching nonstop. You're with them nonstop. I watch your
Yeah,
stories. I see all the shit
yeah.
you're doing. So if you're a father out there and you're like, oh, I can't homeschool like Jack. Nate doesn't homeschool. Jimmy doesn't homeschool. It's you have to still be a father. You still have to show the fuck up and be there for them when you have the opportunity. And I think that's what like my watch you guys. I'm like, dude, that's exactly what you're doing. No matter how many kids you have, you do the same thing because you love your fucking kids. It's the
Yeah.
ones who let their kids just, I don't really want to hang out with my kids. I don't want, like, dude, you don't want to hang out with your kids. You're the fucking one who made your kids. What are you talking about? You don't want to hang out with your kids because you haven't parented them and they're becoming someone that you don't even know who the fuck they are.
They're a mirror. They're a mirror for them, for their
Yeah.
lack of showing up, for the lack of failure. They're a mirror, and that's why, like I say it all the time, right? Like, so we can't express an emotion like towards anyone, especially our kids, that we don't hold within ourselves or about ourselves, right? So it's like when I'm not in alignment, when I'm pissed off about like maybe missing a workout or cheating on my diet or doing, not following through with one of my commitments, I'm so much easier to snap on my kids, right? But when I'm like waking up early, doing my morning routines, crushing the gym, doing everything I said I would do, I'm so calm, I'm so grounded, I'm so aware of every step, and I might lose my shit sometimes, but I'm very quick to like reel it back in, right?
Right.
Like my dad had such a fucking hothead, right? So like that's really something that I've been working on is like controlling my temper and things like that with my kids. And when I do fuck up, I let them know right away, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, dude. Like I shouldn't have reacted like that. Like you need to do better in this reason, but it didn't deserve that reaction, right? And
That's
I'll
huge.
and I'll do better at changing that moving forward. And I'm sorry. And I think that's huge to show them that like, hey, like dads fuck up too. Like I'm doing this for the first time too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm upfront and transparent with them about that. Like I'm a dad. You're 11 for the first time, bud, and I'm doing this for the first time. So it's like all new to us, and that's all we can do is try to learn and get better every day. And that's why I have different coaches in every area of my life, like in wealth, in spiritual growth, and I think that's super important to invest into other people and other things. Really,
Yeah.
I can't be a coach myself and lead other men if I'm not investing to myself and learning from those who are more evolved and doing better than me. So I think that's a huge aspect to it.
Yeah, Jimmy, what I like there is the humility part is that how many fathers do all of us know that just have no humility? They are the known subject matter experts of every fucking thing in the world, and they don't apologize to their kids. It's like, dude, what are you thinking, man? My kid was born, and I became a totally new human. I'm learning with him most of the time. I'm learning with my son. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you know what? Here's what I was taught. but let's find out if I was taught was the right thing. And
Yeah.
and this is how you become a conspiracy theorist because then you're like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
I was taught the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even tell my kids to question me sometimes. Like, ask me questions. Like, don't just like take everything I say. Like, dude, you're 11. You have a phone now. And like, go look up what I tell you. Like, look into
Yeah.
your own things. Do your research. And again, just because it says something online or just because your teacher says it doesn't mean it's true. Right. And I see these kids on the field whose dads are like that. Like, they'll throw a pitch, they'll take a swing, and they'll immediately look back at their dad. Right. Like just waiting for his like approval or his disdain. And something so fucked up I saw the other day. So one of these kids broke his wrist,
Ooh.
right? And he came to me. He's like, "Coach, my wrist hurts." He was acting like it was nothing, right? He's like, "My wrist hurts." I'm like, "Well, can you get back out in the field?" He's like, "I don't think so." And he wasn't acting like it was broke. I'm like, "Come on, man, just try to put your glove on." He tried to put it on. He's like, "Coach, it really hurts." I'm like, "All right, go talk to your mom." His mom took him to the ER. It ended up being broken, but like he was tough as shit because like he wasn't just like my hand kind of hurts, like most kids broken wrist, they'd be crying, freaking out. His dad brought him to the next practice with a cast on, and he's one of those kids. He'll take every swing even in practice and look back, you know. And his dad's like, not good enough, and like every fucking time, no matter what the swing is like. And I was like, dude, your kid's tough as hell, man. Like he just said his arm hurt and wasn't crying at all. He's like, oh no, he's just dumb, right in front of his kid. And I was like, what the fuck? Like in front of all the parents and all the other kids, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, what is wrong with you, bro?
Yeah.
Like, like he must really not like himself. Like really must not like himself to treat his son like that. You know what
Mustn't
I'm
even be
saying?
like, oh, like father, like son? Like, how about you shut the fuck up? That's awful. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Ah.
like I had to constrain myself so bad because there were just parents around, kids were I was
Yeah.
just like, what, bro? Just like that's so fucked up.
Yeah,
And that
I
just
don't
like
bite my tongue. I do not bite my tongue anymore, Jimmy. I got past that. And Simone, my wife, gets so uncomfortable with me because some dad will say some shit. I'll be like, you really think that? You really fucking think your son's dumb? Well, where did he learn dumb from? And
ooh,
I've said stuff the other day. Some lady saw me. My son was fucking hiding from me at homeschool at our pod, and he knew we had to leave. I go back there, he's with another boy, and the mom knows how I am as a father. I said, get out here. You got 20 burpees. What the fuck, dude? I was calling your name, and the other kids' parents don't swear. I swear like a
me too. I
sailor.
swear at my kids all the
Oh,
time.
I'm
I
so
swear at my
glad to hear
kids.
this.
Yeah, I swear at my kids. I'm like, get the
And
fuck over here right now. Yeah.
the mom didn't know what to do, and she's like, you follow Jack. You're gonna do exactly what Destin does. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm recruiting burpee fucking little miniature burpee men.
Yeah.
And this little kid, I had him fucking getting smoked on burpees. He's like, I don't even know how to do burpees. I'm like, well, you're gonna learn today, son. All right, we're
At
not.
20 for the first time. Ouch.
Bro, my son's done 250 in one day because he's messed around and he fucked around and found out. We don't hit in our house, right? You do lots of burpees,
Right.
and people watch my son. They're like, how the fuck's he so strong? He does burpees because he fucks up a lot. But you know what? He's learning, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him doing burpees, and I actually think I stole that from Brad Dunn. One day, his son messed up at school, and I remember he went to the principal, and Brad brought him home, and he had to do 100 burpees. And I'm like, my son was only 3.5. This is like when I first met Brad. And I'm like, this is great. And I brought it to my wife's attention. I said, I think at 4, he's going to start doing burpees. And it was right around 4.5.
Yeah.
And I smoked the shot. My son in a thunderstorm down here in the tropics of Mexico. And he was just out there in a rain gear just doing burpees. I was like, yeah, this feels good. Got addicting watching him do burpees.
Yeah, it's not even, and that's just like what we're missing in society so fucking much is like strong male role models. And that's what I said, like after this whole Charlie Kirk situation and all of these people, like the reason why people are maybe celebrating this or so blind to actually what's going on is because they don't have real male role models in the house. Like it's okay to disagree with someone. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like to want someone to get shot in the fucking neck and be happy about it because of words. And then you have these same fucking weak guys whining and complaining because they lost their job because of words. And they're like, I lost, like literally guys on TikTok crying. Saw this guy from Microsoft with like the septum ring and everything.
God.
And yeah, and like, and he's like, I just lost my job because of an opinion. I can't change how I feel about the situation with Charlie. I'm like, well, this guy lost of his life because of an opinion. Like,
Right?
and you can't lose your job. It's like, how does your brain compute what the fuck you're saying? And do you rewatch your shit before you post it online? Like a grown, like 30 or 40-year-old man crying about he lost his job when this guy lost his life. And he doesn't see the irony in that. It's just like I said, these people aren't real. I
They're
can't
not.
imagine that these
Yeah.
people are actually real. It just
Well, and Andy
blows.
Frisella says the same thing. He's like, we got to, and I'm not with him on, like, he pushes hard to, like, we need to go back to, like, spanking our kids. And I don't agree with that. But the fuck around and find out is a real thing, right? Like, it used to be you fucked around on the schoolyard, someone was going to drop you, or you found out you were actually tough and could handle it. But at least then you had the adrenaline dump, you found the consequences, like the consequences of our actions. Guys have gotten away from that. And oh, I go down the single mom route on that. And I'm not blaming single moms, but the dad outside of the house has been a serious problem because dad is the one who drives consequences.
Yep.
And again, it comes back, and I can bring all this stuff back to, like, dads not being, like, questioning the narrative and being critical thinkers or being skeptical. All of it's just checking out because I checked the box of I went to work today. Like, just because we do that, that's what causes all of this. Like, whether we like it or not, men are the ones that actually bring the consequences, and that's not just like in the home, that's in life, right? You go to the bar and you act like an idiot and someone pops you in the mouth, you deserve that shit, right? And it's like pulling that back and trying to loosen the, I don't even say loosen, lower the masculinity and the strength and power of men has caused this whole lack of consequences that just lets a free for all of bullshit just like that. It's crazy.
And it's all bubble wrapped in morality.
Yes.
Right? It's all bubble. Like, if you don't do and think like this, whether it was with COVID or politics, whatever, you're a bad person, right?
Right?
If you don't let your kid wear a dress when he wants to, like, you're transphobic, and that means you're a bad person. Like, it's literally all wrapped in morality, right? And it's fucking bullshit, right? And it's just like with COVID, right? Like, if you didn't, like, I had some of my best friends, right, calling me like, bro, like, you're killing grandmas, bro. Do you not
Yeah.
realize that? Do you not realize he's like, if you see my mom out in public without your vaccine or mask, you better stay the fuck away from her. I was like, bro, I'm gonna come up and lick her face. I was like, fucking it. I can't wait to see your mom out in public, bro. Um, and it was, yeah, it was just like, and even now, like, this was like a year ago or something. I'm like, can you guys finally admit? They're like, what do you mean, bro? You weren't right about like anything. Like, it's just like, yeah, they're still one because they've already doubled down so much. They
God.
Yeah.
can't they can't reverse back. But it's all wrapped in morality and
Yeah.
people. There's like, so our testosterone, right? So the testosterone's the lowest it's ever fucking been, and our
Yeah.
testosterone levels are directly linked to us being able to be confrontational and go against grain. Because like fucking hundreds of years ago, if I disagreed with you, there was a high likelihood we were fucking throwing down, like right
Hmm.
then and there, right? That's just how shit was handled. So most people are such beta males, they're walking around with 300 levels of test. They can't disagree with anyone because they're too scared to go against the grain and to be considered unmoral and not a good person,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, fuck you. Like, consider me a bad person all you want. Like, I really don't care. Because you're fucking stupid. Just like so
Well, and then they
I
had the backing in during COVID, they had the backing of this massive, like, you had governmental backing, you had Facebook backing you. If you were that beta and you were, saying things and pushing that morality, you felt like you were right because you were
yeah.
backed by government and all the bots that were on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at the time. Like, I was in Costco and I was like, fuck these masks. My daughter had to go to the hospital and I would not put it on. This lady's like, oh, we have a mask for you. I was like, thanks. And I took it, and on the way by I just dropped it in the trash. And my daughter was like, Dad. And I'm like, don't wear that. These don't work. And we're in a place where all these people should know that. I'm not
Yeah.
wearing their bullshit. And so even in the hospital, I was like, it was one of those
Yeah.
things. But I was in a Costco, and this 18-year-old scrawny dick was like, "Sir, you need to put a mask on." And I was on the phone with my best friend, and I was like, "I'm on the phone. What is your problem?" Like, I was like, he never, like, just, I know this is going to sound arrogant, but based on my size compared to him, he never would have felt like he had the ability to yell at a grown ass man that way in public if he hadn't felt like he had the backing of all of this other stuff. And that's the only reason that he thought he could say something. And then when I was like, even when I stood, I brodied up and was like, "Bro, I don't think you're going to talk to me that way." He shut up and like backed off instantly. And that's the problem is that beta male shit. They just fall right into it like, "Oh, I'm right because everyone else is saying I'm right." I'm like,
Yep.
"No, you aren't. And you're too weak to actually handle it yourself if you were to come at me anyways." It's
Nate,
ridiculous.
that whole shit, I want to take where Jimmy was starting to go. The
Yeah.
bubble wrap of morality.
Yeah.
The keyboard courage and all this shit comes from feminism. It's you know me and my going right back down in that hole, baby. Where I'm coming from. All right. If feminism didn't happen, and you had like 4 layers of feminism happen too over time, this wouldn't have happened. They removed dad. Then what do these women do? They're like, oh, you know what? Meat's bad. Cows' farts are fucking causing the world to fucking go to shit. What the fuck are you talking about? This makes no fucking sense. Let's start putting soy in every burger. Let's put soy in everything. Matter of fact, let's make soy milk. Let's do soy and talk about how soy is so great. And not on top of that, let's bring in veganism. Fucking let's tell everyone vegans are the way to go. It saves the earth. So now you're virtuous,
Yep.
right? This virtuous bullshit goes so fucking far too. And
Yeah.
this is gonna be my final thoughts because we only have 5 minutes left, guys.
Yeah.
But
So,
I really truly believe that feminism ruined a lot, and men who are awakened to conspiracies have a critical thinking and discernment ability, and they can look back and say, "Shit, when they removed me from my family or my dad from his family, this is kind of what caused all the problems of the world." And if we can bring masculinity back, get back to eating some proper food, like some fucking grass-fed meats, grass-fed butters, fruit. I mean, that's pretty much all I eat over here is meat and fruit. So, but get back to just eating fucking basic shit, natural foods that are fucking right from the earth. Stop eating all this processed shit. Get away from soy. Get out in nature. Get into the fucking sun. Like what? Remember COVID? That was a huge fucking psyop too. Like, don't go outside. Don't breathe the air. Be afraid of the sun. Be afraid of the sky. Be afraid of fucking everything. And I
Yeah.
think fathers need to come back and say, no, all of that was wrong. I was wrong. And you know what? Here's how we're going to go forward in the future. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to work out. We're going to take care of our mental. We're going to debrief every day. We're going to do AARs every day. That's what me and my wife do. It's called the After Action Report. So we do AARs of the day. Hey, After Action Report, how did it look? So we're not only debriefing with our kids, we're debriefing with ourselves. So that gives us a time to really take in all of our fucking thoughts for the day and our actions for the day and say, was it a win or was it a loss? Right? So we look at the day, and stack those wins, as a lot of us have heard. And that's the only way to get fucking back. I mean, I don't see another way to go against all of these NPCs or non-spiritual beings. I think
Yeah.
that's my new term. Did you say that something like that, Jimmy?
yeah.
I like that. So that's all I can say is we need to step up as men and we need to question everything and research. Stop being fucking lazy. That's the problem. Men are fucking lazy, and it all comes down to their shitty ass diet, their shitty ass non working out movements, everything. All your habits have created this problem. And you being an innocent bystander has also caused this problem because you're eating all the shit, not working out, not having testosterone. And I 100% with you on that too, Jimmy, that like they're quiet because, the innocent bystander, it's virtuous. It's not virtuous to
Yeah.
be an asshole. So it's like, let's be
Yep.
virtuous assholes, guys, as you go forward today. All right, I'm going to pass it over
Yeah,
to you,
man.
Nate, and then Jimmy, you can close this out, man, all the way.
Yeah, man, I really don't have much to add on that. I think like just I loved talking with you, Jimmy. Thank you for coming on and doing this with us because in the midst of all this, we really are saying if you just question the narrative, and the willingness to to be alone. And I can tell you, even right now, like my oldest son is 21, and one of the things he says is like it's lonely trying to do like be an entrepreneur and do things that are not normal. Even now, his age group, people are saying oh well, why aren't you going to school and why aren't you doing this? And he feels embarrassed by that to a level, and he's getting over that. But because he's
Yeah.
not doing what the rest of the world is doing or the rest of the world around him is doing based on his friends, it's hard and it feels lonely. And again, I know I quote because I listen to him all the time, but Andy Frisella talks about how you have levels where you'll be it alone and then you'll meet people that do what you're doing. And then when you decide to level up, you'll be alone again. There's a lot of loneliness, but dad's being willing to do that, that gives us at least the place to take care of our family. And that's
Yeah.
where it starts, right? Family, community, state, country, world. You can't affect the world if you're not focused on yourself and your family. And so that's where I'll leave it. Jimmy, man, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for coming on. I'd love to hear your final thoughts as well. Let us have it, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. It was awesome. We're definitely gonna have to do it again when we have some more time because I could do this for fucking hours. But
Same.
but yeah, to like what you said, most men I think they feel even if they are aware of what's going on, like, well, what can I do? I can't do anything, right? Like, no, you can change yourself, and then that changes your kids, and then that changes some of their friends potentially, right?
Yeah.
They could see the way that your kid lives and how he operates, and like that has it has a ripple effect, right? It
Yes.
has a ripple effect that if you can get your house and home right, right, that affects your kids, that affects your kids' kids, right? And then again, your kids' friends, and it just goes out and ripples from there. And it's I feel like guys truly the pendulum is starting to shift though in the other direction a little bit,
Yeah.
right? It's definitely starting to swing in the other direction with all these people getting fired. Like 5 years ago, if some shit like this happened, no one would get fired over what they were saying, right?
Right.
Like Jimmy Kimmel being fucking canceled, right? For perpetuating lies and like and stuff like that. Like the pendulum is starting to shift in the other direction. People are starting to wake the fuck up a little bit, and I think over the next couple of years, like they've gone too far. I think they've gone too fucking far. They've done too much. They thought they had too much control and power. Now people are starting to wake up and shift the other direction. So like that pendulum's fucking shifting. And I think that the whole Charlie Cook situation really woke even more people up. I've seen so many people that are opening up their Bible, going like the Sunday that many videos I saw with church that was like lines around the
Yeah.
churches, right,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So like the pendulum's starting to swing the other direction, and again, we just gotta be leaders in our family and our community, and then it'll ripple out from there.
Love it, man. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you,
Oh yeah,
Jimmy.
guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Have a great day, everyone. Later.
Peace.
It-